Hello, everybody. Here we are once again on Out of the Box podcast. I'm your host, Jim Andre, and we have my co host here, Bradley Powers, and our special guest this evening, Matthew Turner. How's everybody doing?
We're live.
We are live. Good to be alive.
Well, we're any day that we're above 6 foot above the dirt, we're good, right?
That's right. Yep. Yeah, so you're a producer of the Matrix Minds and Enigma platform, which is pretty fascinating to me. I mean, that's a well put together platform, in my opinion. I hope you keep up the good work. And I understand that you're also a hypnotherapist, right? A licensed hypnotherapist.
I am.
Yeah. You know, my story about abduction and all that. I've often wanted to um, seek out hypnotic regression. Do you have the ability to do that?
I do.
Okay.
I
But I
come.
know
I can help you with some references if you want first.
well, the thing with me is, I mean, I'm a critical thinker basically, but I mean, I've waited so long to find somebody that, let's put it this way, that I could trust. And I believe, totally that I could trust you because I often see it that a hypnotist can use post hypnotic suggestion to do different things. For example, you can have a number of people go up on stage and act like fools just by power of suggestion. Or that he could hypnotize someone and possibly give him some type of code or sound or word that would trigger him to do something that he probably wouldn't normally do, which would go into maybe mind control and different black op programs like sleeper cells or whatever. So I mean that's where my thing has been with the trust for so long, and but I will admit that I've known you long enough where I would trust you with no problem. But see, I never realized till recently that you were actually a licensed hypnotherapist.
I am. I don't really remember the date on my certification. I can definitely go look at it. Um, but you're talking about the trust factor, right? You're talking about trust
Uh-huh.
and things like that. First of all, let me say that clinical hypnotherapy, past life regression, life between lives, anything like that, is very different than what you would refer to as stage hypnosis.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're talking like clucking like a chicken,
Right, right,
shit like that.
in other words, a show type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Suggestibility. You've got hypnotherapists that they look for suggestibility in
Uh-huh.
people, right? So that is one of the things that I learned. Don't get me wrong. I can probably very well do stage hypnosis. That's just not my forte. I don't want nor wanted to get into stage hypnosis.
Right.
I was
Well, I was
more
just using that as an analogy of trust.
uh,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
but I was leading up to tell you that no, anyone is susceptible to hypnotherapy. Literally, everybody has got the susceptibility. Okay, everybody,
Uh-huh.
but to what degree is there's lines there. Okay, and what I mean by that is there you may be more susceptible to suggestion than
Uh-huh.
Bradley.
I got you.
Okay,
Yeah. In other words, different
or
degrees, different levels.
right. Okay, suggestibility. When it comes to stage hypnotherapy, that is completely different than past life between lives, lost time.
Uh-huh.
Um, now I say that because me being past life regressionist, as well as getting into like life between lives, there can be no what you would call pre suggestion, pre-suggestion. There cannot be any of that, because I wouldn't want to tell you, Jim, you're going to go, close your eyes, Jim. We're going to walk you through a deep body meditation, blah blah blah. And then I'm going to confront you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you to pretty much create yourself a doorway. Okay.
Right.
Find yourself wherever you are comfortable, in your room, in your house, da 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 da. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a doorway. Okay. Now I wouldn't tell you what color the door is going to be. I personally, we wouldn't, as a past life regressionist, you don't really care what color the door is, what the door looks like.
Right.
Okay. The basic understanding is Jim's going to create a door. Okay. And what's crazy but not crazy is whenever you like literally get down to, again, it could be a green door, black door, gray door, see-through door, whatever door you create, right? What is going to happen next is you're going to look down at the minute detail. Okay. You're going to have the creative mind, okay, kicks in. All right. But what happens in that stage of hypnotherapy is the subconscious mind tries to fill in gaps.
Right.
Do you follow what I'm saying? So when it comes down to, now we've got the door created, what are we going to do after we got the door created? We're going to, ask Jim what he's wanting to obtain on the other side of that door.
Right.
All right. So whether that be, I don't know, whatever you would be trying to see. Here's the thing: before we start at all, I would sit down with a notepad. Okay, I would say, Jim, what is it that you're looking to achieve? Okay, where you want to go? What do you want to see? Like, as in other words, as I'm going to say, okay, you're wanting a location, you're wanting an age, you're wanting a gender, you're wanting all of these different things that you're asking your own self for.
Right.
Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So
in my case, it would be lost memory and what transpired during that lost time that I had.
Right. Okay. So here's, even maybe for you, it would be, the creativity. You're going to walk through that door after you create it in your mind. You're going to walk through the door, or you're going to, however you choose to do this.
Right.
Okay.
In other words, I choose my own journey. Basically.
You do, and there's nothing. And this is the thing: there's no wrong answer.
Right. Right.
Okay. There really is no wrong answer. You may. I've literally had a client, or a client that's told me that they looked down and they just started laughing, and they seen that they had blue feet. I'm serious. They had blue feet, and that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter whether they've got blue feet. What matters is that they were able to create in their mind that experience. Now, that experience really turned out to be significant because, from what I understand, they were an extraterrestrial, or they were an entity or a being of some type. Okay, that I can't even make. I could probably look through the file, but I mean, I couldn't even pronounce the name.
So that would be like a case where they were probably an alien type species in a previous life.
Well, you got to remember, time is unequivocal. There is no time. We as human beings we would like to believe there. We started the broadcast at 9:00. I knew to be here. I knew to be here at like 10 till. Right.
We use it as a form of measurement.
Right. Well, we utilize time far different than Source would.
I got you. Yeah, we use it as a tool. Yeah.
Right, as a marker. Okay, what I've got out of past life regressions is time to us is a marker. It'll give a reference point, a point in time for us to reference.
Right.
Okay, when in all actuality, it doesn't really matter. It matters to you and I. Right. It matters to me, you, and Bradley, but it's nevertheless, time just is unequivocal. It doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, because basically all we ever have is the moment, like we're having right now.
Well, we can reference this time. We can reference this day. We can reference the time. I can reference the location.
Right,
I'm actually in the man cave. I can smoke a cigarette with you fellas. Yeah. I mean, I'm loving this time with you. Right.
Yeah, same here.
In going back, referencing what you're wanting to attack, you're wanting to find this missing time. Now, that's perfect. That's perfectly fine. I will tell you that, again, I myself as a hypnotherapist do not do what's called pre-hypnotic suggestion. I do, however, if you would like, I do post hypnotic, which is follow up after you have had your journey of a lifetime, found your time, whatever you want to call it. Let me just throw this out there. Jim wants to try to quit smoking. Okay, we would do a post hypnotic suggestion that Jim doesn't smoke. Literally, to hell with they taste bad, they this, they that. No, Jim just doesn't smoke.
Right.
It is just that simple. Okay, and whenever that's the thing. I've heard a lot of people like, well, I went to hypnotherapy and, well, fuck, it was a completely waste of money. I didn't quit smoking, blah 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 blah. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. If you went to a hypnotherapist to stop smoking, that means you definitely want help. That's good. But the problem is don't blame the hypnotherapist because your ass didn't quit smoking.
Right.
You didn't really want to quit smoking.
Right.
That is truly the way it works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a vice. Okay. Well, on top of that, they spray our tobacco down with God only knows how many chemicals. Right. So no, we're not tobacco itself, from what I understand, is not even addictive.
Right.
It's the chemicals
they put in it. Right.
Right. It's the shit they put in it. So that's that. But I mean, I know you're not ready to quit smoking.
Oh, no.
Neither am I. Don't worry. No, I'm gonna make a cigarette right now. If I can find the box.
Bradley's not ready to quit either. So.
No, I'm not ready. Me and Jim, we like sucking fags, don't we?
Hey, man, it is what it is. I ain't gonna.
Ritual. It's a ritual, you know what I mean? It's just a private ritual, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't plan on giving up either. Yeah, so how long have you been hitting the therapist for, Matthew?
I want to say, let me go grab my after I make my cigarette, we'll go in the house, I'll grab my certificate. Okay. And I'll share that with you.
All right.
Mind readers also have the ability to get someone to give up smoking as well. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Who's that?
Mind readers as well. They also have that ability.
Bro, I'm making myself a cigarette. I can't afford a pack of Marlboro up here in Ohio.
Marlboro, that's what I smoke. Marlboro tobacco. Yeah, I don't support the Ku Klux Klan, even though they are responsible for Marlboro tobacco.
I smoke these little cigars, Matt. Right? I've been smoking these for about 10 years now. I get a whole carton of these for like $11.88.
Right? Holy shit! All right. Well, I get a bag of the good stuff tobacco. Okay, a decent sized bag of tobacco, and 500 tubes of just tubes.
Yeah.
For roughly, I think, $19, and I get 2 cartons of cigarettes plus out of this bag of tobacco. So
that's a good deal. Yeah.
I'm damn straight, especially whenever a pack of cigarettes up here is now around $9 a pack.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you want to buy a cotton, that's what, 10 packs, that's, you might as well say $100, right?
Well, I'd like to say we are putting in a crowd, guys. Reynolds, thank you for joining us. David Daly, Stephen Parr, thank you for joining us. Tony Walt, Angela Black, Robin Hibbard, Rebel Bria, Elio Aquilina, Robin Hibbard. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Pleasure to have you on news. And anybody I've mentioned, please forgive me. But this is Matthew Turner in the house, hypnotherapist, and he is a podcaster, and he also owns 2 platforms, and he actually benefits the community by giving his time and knowledge and sharing with the masses by planting seeds into their minds, causing them to think out of the box, just like me and Jim do, basically.
My cert she is no longer with me. Her name was Jill Simonin, but you can't really even see it. She was a can you see that?
Somewhat, yeah.
This was given on the 29th day. Holy shit, 2016.
Oh wow.
But I miss Jill. She was a fantastic lady. She was one of them esoteric kind of girls. And what really bothered me is she had a prolonged sickness, and we knew she was sick, but she was a lot, I guess, a lot like us. We're tired, right?
Yeah.
And she wanted to pass on her clientele. She wanted to pass on her gift to me. I got to be really good friends with her, and that's what ended up happening. I told what even started me into clinical hypnotherapy was my awakening, I guess, like you can say. I wanted to know about consciousness. I wanted to know where we go, things like that, man.
And that was when you had that near-death experience, right? Is that when your awakening began?
Yeah, that's when I decided to check out. But I did. I mean, I definitely did. And I wanted to know where I went. And I can tell you that whether Jill ran me back into an experience or not, that was one thing. But I will tell you, the source of me didn't want to relinquish where I was, why I was, because I was told in that hypnotherapy session that it would be given to me in I guess bites. It would be right.
Yeah, well, see, I believe things happen for a reason, I mean, if that was the way that you were meant to awaken, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, that's one hell of a way away. I'll be honest with you. If I've been asked if I would ever do dimethyltryptamine again, and I tell you, absolutely not. No, I will not. I won't. I mean, you see, my certificate was from 2016, and I know that it took me 8 months to get it, and it was about a year prior, almost 2 years prior, that I even did that. Did that substance, and that is what triggered me to want to know about consciousness itself.
Right. Well, that was a profound experience. I can see why. Yeah.
Definitely was a profound experience. I will tell you that I don't suggest the immediate wake up like that. What we're watching people go through right now on the broadcasts, the waking up slowly to, everything from politics to economics to spirit to all of these different things.
Yeah.
To be downloaded, all of that, knowing that the entire matrix that we believe ourselves to live in, to have all of that shit downloaded into you, knowing it in the matter of 15 to 20 minutes, it literally is mind blowing.
Yeah, well, that would be overwhelming. Actually, I would think.
It was, without a doubt. It took me, Melissa could tell you, I did not come back the same person. I would say between 2 months, 3 months, something like that. Here was the greatest thing about me being a driver is because I've always driven at night. I've always been a night owl, and I had the opportunity after I did what I did to number one, I had the weekend to recover, but on top of that, I asked my boss if I could come in between 7 and 8 o'clock at night, whenever whenever first shift was completely done. That way, I could leave out of Akron here, run down to Sydney, Ohio, bust ass to get my stuff done, fly back up here, and I wouldn't see anybody. I wouldn't have to have that interaction with anybody, and I needed that. I needed that because when I first came back from my experience, I was so inundated with every single thing, every molecule, every rock, every tree has an, or I'm saying every tree has an aura. It's got a life force energy to it. Different objects, it's whenever I came back, I was so inundated with life being right in front of my face. It bothered me to the point where I could be in traffic and I could hear people's thoughts. I could feel people's emotions to the point where it was so overwhelming. For the longest time, I literally had to learn to block it out. And my wife now, Melissa, tells me, she says, sometimes she's like, "You were a piss poor introvert." I'm going, "What?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, I love my own quiet time. She's like, "Yes," but she says, now I'm different. And on top of all that, I am no longer really, it took me a minute, but I'm no longer really emotionally connected to everybody, if that makes sense. I've had to shield myself because of what happened to me.
Matthew, fellows watching, Matthew Turner actually took DMT, and he was suicidal at the time, and he took DMT. Is it true that DMT is an ego killer, Matthew, would you say?
Well, I would say yes, but also say that the ego is a prime part of everyone's body or everyone's entity, right? We need the ego to protect the body. We need the ego to protect your inner child. Every single body they might not agree that they've got an inner child, but this is true. They have got an emotional inner child. So dimethyltryptamine being an ego killer, it will definitely set the record straight as to the body is yours to do with it whatever you want to do. Okay, but it being an actual ego killer, I'm not. I don't agree with that. Barbara says the LSD I did in the 70s was very enlightening experience. The colors and the patterns were amazing. Um, I guess from what I understand, the way I did it, you got to understand the way I did it was I was trying to take myself out. So I didn't just do it recreationally. I didn't just hit it once, feel it coming on, and just sit back and chill out. Right? No, hell no. I did it to the point where I was completely immobile. I was, whenever you really, really, really do it the way I did it, or the way it's supposed to be done, I guess, is you take, primarily 3 massive ass hits, because you ain't going to get any more than that. By the time you try to drag on your second hit, you are starting to like lose whatever you define reality to be. It's not even, it starts to like extinguish itself slowly, and then by the time you're done with that second hit and going for your third hit, it's all over with. You're gonna have that third hit in your lungs and just like literally just, I mean, you're done. It's that catastrophic. I mean, it's but going back to that question, ego killer, I wouldn't necessarily say ego killer. I would guess it would be, I was shown my own very self that you definitely chose to be here. Whether it be a bad experience, a profound experience, even an experience where you've got a lifetime of pain, agony, sorrow. What I know now is that, and this isn't just from my own experience, but other past life regressions that I've actually done, that a lady, put it this way, a lady wanted to know why. Number one, she wanted to know why she was fighting diabetes so bad and losing the battle. Okay, so she wanted to confront suffering. Why am I going through a lifetime of suffering? And this is profound, because I got out of that. I actually got to ask spirit or source through that vessel that it does not matter. A lot of people hear me say this, is the source says it does not matter whether you have a bad experience, a profound experience, or even a lifelong experience of suffering. Okay, it would rather have a lifelong journey of suffering than it would have no experience at all. So that's a really significant thing we need to keep in mind. That is how critical your experience is for source energy, or just for God, if you would call it God.
So that would be like sort of like a sacrifice for what you want to experience.
Well, you just said what you wanted to experience, right? Did you hear what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, are you here for you, or are you here for source? And what are you? Are you source, or are you separate from source?
I believe I'm a fragmental part of source.
You're fragmentation of source. We are primarily here, from what I understand, on that level. Okay. I don't usually go there on the matrix, but you're getting me into a zone here where I'll tell you the way I truly believe. Okay. Based upon, and this is based upon the past lives that I've read, the experience that I've actually had my very self. We are I can't actually tell you that we are God per se, right? But you are an aspect or a what fragment. The word fragment is a damn good explanation.
Right.
I can tell you this: when I was where I was not alone. Okay, and it bothers me still till this day to try to figure out. I want to try to figure out who was it with me when I was where I was during that experience. Because I'm telling you right now, this is what's crazy, Jim, is whenever I first blasted through my third eye, I ran. I think I told you I shot up a moonbeam, right? And I could. It's not like, it wasn't like a tunnel. I didn't see no light bullshit. I didn't see loved ones around me. No, I seen nothing. I mean, it is. If everybody can see how there's blackness behind you,
Right.
I seen nothing, dude. Nothing.
Right.
It was so. Put it this way. It was so black. It was so black as pitch. It was light. It was actually light. I could actually see if given. We've all seen dust floating around in the light, right? You've seen that.
Yep.
It was almost as if I could see that. Okay, but something caught my eye, like that little flame I'm flicking in my corner here. Okay, it wasn't flicking, but I seen a little teeny tiny speck of dust way off, or it seemed like it was way off in a distance.
You know what I think that is? I think that's a 0 point below all dimensions.
But I have no idea. I can tell you, I have no idea.
And I think what was with you was the source itself, because I believe that when we transition, that's where we go back to from where we came, the source itself.
Well, I can definitely tell you that it was very harmonious. I'm a musician. Bradley's a musician. We pick up on tone, frequency. I mean, dude, I can. The only way I can explain it is angelic. What is the name of it's called ambient music, right? And it was coming from everywhere and nowhere. I'm talking, I was in a pitch black as pitch, but yet it was so dark I could almost see. The thing was, and whenever I smoke weed now, if I was to smoke weed now, it triggers that event. Okay, even as long as it had been in 2014, 2015, that has happened to me, I can still till this day go back to where it was that I was to find comfort. Okay, because where I was, again, I could hear an ambient sound, an angelic kind of ambient sound everywhere and nowhere, and a lot like what Barbara had said, LSD in the 70s, blah blah blah. I get it. Because when I finally seen that little spark, right, I looked at it and I focused on it. And the moment I focused on it, it was literally like day and night. Someone took a light switch and flipped that switch. Again, I wasn't going through a tunnel. I didn't get all that woo-woo shit. It wasn't a slow pull. It wasn't I was drawn into the light. No, hell no. It was, if my head was on my body, I'm talking whiplash, okay? It was like when I felt myself get wham, sucked into this, wham, and I'm there. So, and now we've got a problem, because I wanted to looked back to find where it was I just come from, and it was gone. I couldn't find the dark speck. I couldn't find the darkness because I was so overwhelmed with this brilliant, bright light. I couldn't even look at. You see what I'm saying? I couldn't get back to the dark because I was too overwhelmed with the light that I'm in.
So would you say that you were blinded more by the light than you was by the darkness?
I was more comfortable where I was at.
Yeah, Barbara Bolcher said that would be a scary experience to have, actually, in her opinion. Was you scared, Matthew?
I was scared. I was definitely at that point scared, okay? Because I didn't know, number one, I felt, I could feel everything. I could feel my body, but I had no body. I could feel like going into the darkness when I first shot through my head. You gotta remember, dude, I wanted to die. Melissa was okay. Matthew was okay. She, at the time, she and I was going through some really tough shit. She wanted a divorce. She was losing her father at the time. I mean, we both have been through some things, but losing the family that I had lost, it was just overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying?
Sarah, if you don't mind me saying, Sarah Williams says DMT is an entirely different level. There is nothing like it. I experienced consciousness. It is intense and would not recommend it at all for anyone who is not experienced with psychedelics or anyone who has not done their research. Anyone considering DMT, please be totally prepared. It is unbelievably amazing and or terrifying. Would you agree with that, mate?
Who said this?
Sarah Williams.
Absolutely. It sounds as though that he has experienced what I experienced, and I'm going to tell you, I have tried for a very long time to even be able to put into words, because you can't even really truly define, or words don't, I guess words fall short, okay? The words fall short as to the profoundness, the feeling, the level of intensity. I mean, I can remember, I've played in bands almost off and on my life, so I've been around marijuana, I've been around drugs, sex, rock and roll. I mean, LSD, blah blah blah, right? But I'm gonna tell you, dude, when I should have, if I was doing what I should have done was, I guess, shot up with heroin, okay, or some shit like that, dude. I should have just, because what I accidentally did, not knowing that I did it, it definitely brought me back to a whole nother of reality that I was not aware that existed. And I mean that by saying this, I did not know that I myself, Matthew, could have a love for Jim. I had no idea what that word even meant to another guy. I'm saying non-homophobic, right? I care about you.
Right.
And I care about those around me. Now, I never did give a shit, dude. But that's not my ego. That is not my ego. That was an aspect of my personality. Okay, that's just who I was at the time. Okay, so let me just continue what I was saying here. When I went over into the light, we've all seen the eyes of with a dragonfly, right? You've got like infinite amount of little dots in a dragonfly's eye, right? I could see in a 360 to a complete 360 radius, okay? And in amongst that, I'm trying to, again, look for that little black hole that I just came through into where I'm at. And now that I'm looking deep enough into this light, I can see that there's pixelation. That's why I refer to it as smoking now, I'm searching for the starting pixel, because somewhere in amongst that experience, again, I was submerged in wrapped around a complete sphere, a 360 sphere, where there were multiple billion, I'm talking an infinite amount of eyes, infinite amount of little dots, and inside of them dots, there's another infinite amount of dots. So the only thing every question that I had was delivered to me at the speed of thought. So, and that is something else that I even still to this day wonder how. I wonder why. I wonder who is it? Number one, who is it that was with me, noticing that I was there? Number two, I wanted, still now till this day, I want to know who was it that knew I was making a choice to look at the specific instance that I just tried to get out of.
Right.
Okay, because what's crazy is I was probably given the choice to stay or go, stay there or come back. And I can honestly tell you, at the time, it did not matter to me. I didn't care. I looked down inside of this little hole, this little bubble, and I could see myself laying by my pond. I see myself from a third person perspective, right? So that's really significant. Just remember what I just said. I seen myself in a third person perspective, and I'm laying there, and I'm like, why do I got to go back? And the moment I didn't see anybody, but the moment that I said what I said, in my own thoughts, why do I got to go back? Now all of these people that are in my life now, right? I'm talking right this very minute today, Barbara Borchers included, Morgan Roundtree, James Roundtree, my own wife, my own son, Jim Andre, Bradley Powers, every single body that I'm coming into contact with now was in that bubble then. You guys were there. I may not have known that you were there, but I promise you with every hair on my head, you were there. We are going through this for a reason and for a purpose together. I'm here now for a purpose.
Right.
And I don't know why.
I call it the synchronicity of time. That's what I call it.
What is it?
Synchronicity of time.
Synchronicity of time. Okay. Again, time is completely irrelevant. Where I was at time meant shit. It meant nothing. What means something is the experience. Me loving you, Bradley. Me loving you, Jim, and caring for all of these people. I care about people. Now.
Yeah, you're an empath now, but you wasn't an empath then, before your experience.
No, I did not like people. Oh. In fact, I didn't like myself. And I knew that. I knew in order to go back, I had to sacrifice something. And that, I guess, is what I sacrificed, was my self-preservation. I don't know. I truly can't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that experience is what led me to being and getting involved in clinical hypnotherapy. I want to know the journey that someone's soul or someone's spirit is on. You want to know? I'm willing to help you the best way I possibly can to get there, to recognize, look, you're going through what you're going through because that is the choice that you and Source made.
Right.
The both of you together. I was not alone. Remember, I was not alone. No matter how much I wanted to be, I wasn't. And what I thought was death definitely wasn't death. I mean, I'm moving. You can see me moving my phone, right? That's you. You're visually seeing me move my phone.
Yeah.
I visually seen myself shoot through my forehead as if someone hit me in the head with a damn ball bat. We've probably all fallen out of a tree or gotten hit in the head and seen stars, right? We've the funny, stars. You get hit in the head so hard you see stars. And that is exactly what happened. Again, in between that second hit, third hit, dude, it was over. I shot through my forehead, through the moon, and that was it, dude.
That's a very profound experience indeed.
David Nash says, true, you can't love anyone if you don't love yourself. I think you can actually love outwardly. You could actually care about people more than you can care about yourself. You know, some people are better at caring for other people than they are caring for themselves.
I gotta try to turn my headset on up a little more or something, because Bradley, you're muffled or some shit.
Really? Am I sounding all right, Jim? I'm using a different device. My phone overheated. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good, yeah.
Thank you.
It must be that accent, and I'm also not used to having these headphones in my ear.
Well, it's kind of hard to hear him. You can hear me better because I'm closer to you. He's across the pond, remember?
Yeah.
Right. right.
David Nash says, when you was on about we are all gods, Matthew, David Nash says, depends on what religion you follow. Many say we are all gods, not just in the Garden of Eden. The serpent suggested that we are all gods. Scientists of knowledge also and Enkai say that we are all gods.
Yeah, we're all a fragmental part of God.
Yeah, we are all connected to God for the flower of life, which is an element of God's gene.
All right. We can kind of touch on what you just mentioned, the flower of life, okay? Because I can tell you in the moment of realization of that bubble of experience that I just came from, okay? Listen to what I'm telling you. I was able to pick out my own personal awareness in that bubble, okay? And the only thing that I can relate the flower of life to in that experience is the separation of bubble. Okay, it literally, if you were to take what I seen and throw it on a wall, okay, even though it was a complete 360 bubble, right? Hang on, I gotta shut my alarm off. Damn it. All right. Even though I was in a complete 360 bubble, I could still see individual bubbles, okay? And again, they are actually separated. They are separated. So it's like each experience is its own little if looking at the tree of life, right? It is its own little bubble in that experience.
Yeah.
It's very, again, very, very difficult to explain where I was, what I seen. I've tried for the last 10 plus years to explain the best I possibly could.
Well, maybe would you consider that being like maybe an experience on a subatomic level?
You talking microcosmic level?
Yeah, like microcosmic, yeah. I believe that point of light you see was the 0 point. In other words, there has to be a beginning through any cycle. Any cycle has a beginning and an end.
Well, let me share with you what just came to my mind, okay? And that is, if we are going to classify the all is as is all, then there is no beginning and then there is no end. A cycle has a beginning and a cycle has an end.
Right.
Therefore,
I'm referring to the cycles themselves, and I'm sure there's gazillions of them all at one time.
Oh, probably so. Probably so. I look at my, going into my belief, and truly my belief. This is why I don't argue religion with people anymore. That's because of the way I guess because of my experience. Religion didn't matter. My choice of religion didn't matter. My choice of color didn't matter. I mean, I look at where I was at, and that was only an aspect of just one specific instance, and I just happened to come back to it. And what's funny is you guys are part of that bubble.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? But yet you also have your own profound awareness outside of your source, your body.
Well, that's going back to the Matrix again. Everything is connected. There's a connection.
It would have to, yes, it would have to be connected, because if not, it wouldn't be part of the totality.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Barbara Bolger says, we've all found each other up in here for a reason. There are no coincidences. We planned it. Much love to all of you. Thank you for that, Barbara Bolger. Thank you for that comment.
I do believe that she's right. I definitely do believe she's right. I can't, I'm a person on my, like on my on the Matrix broadcast. I try to keep everybody logical, rational. We skate that line between metaphysical, ufology, Egyptology, unknown shit, blah blah blah, right? But I can definitely tell you that I'm saying from my own experience, I do believe that I can validate her by saying, no matter what we go through, we're going to be all right. And as to we chose to be here with one another. I do definitely agree with that as well, because again, I cannot say that you guys were not part of that experience when I chose to come back. I chose to come back. I don't know why. I didn't want to come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
What drew me, it's funny, but what drew me was the feeling. I had feeling, okay? And I had emotion. I had a connection, emotional connection to want to come back, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It will.
Now, to walk someone through that experience, okay, that is, I guess that is another, the main reason why I asked Jill to teach me hypnotherapy, is because I wanted to know. I wanted to, everybody. I wanted to know, like, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there is, something other than that in which I'm sitting here doing right now, and that is talking to you. You two fellas. I wanted to know beyond a doubt that we can. Where I went to was not just, like dude said, a profound experience. It was just a profound drug experience. No, man, it was not that. It was more than that.
Yeah.
And that I believe it was more than that. You're right. I believe, during each cycle, we're all here for a purpose. And I don't believe we completely move on until that purpose has been fulfilled. Even though we may not even realize or know what that purpose is.
David Nash says, everything is in sync, whether we see it or not. The good, the bad, and the ugly. All roads lead to where you are supposed to find your end point. Our book has already been written, says David Nash. Thank you for sharing.
I agree with that too. I do. We've got. I can tell you on the Matrix on the network, right? Your guys' show, the Matrix itself. I could not ask for, or I could not be blessed for any better of an enlightened crew that is on and participates on the broadcasts. I
Thank
am
you.
telling you, I am absolutely just over the moon, tickled to death with how they are, how they treat one another.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's what
because
it's all about.
it's
You know,
awesome.
we should all be here to help each other. You know, I mean that's the way it should be, in my opinion.
That's right. We all rise together. That's what we do.
Hmm.
Hi there,
That's
Marianne Clark from Ghost Tales Paranormal. Thank you for joining us. We all rise together.
I mean, yeah, you know, now would be a great time to, like, get drunk and go around a campfire and sing "Kumbaya" to one another. Not
Are you
just
offering,
saying.
Matthew?
What's that? What's that?
Are you offering?
Am I?
Are you offering, Matthew? All round
Am I off? Am I offering? Oh, yeah. Always help the less fortunate, sick, elderly, and the animals. You know what? Let me.
I absolutely agree with that because, you know, I know a lot of people, you know, their parents get sick and they don't even bother with it. But I
Yeah.
can say, yeah, and I can say that my mom and dad, I was there for them, both of them, you know, and I sacrificed a lot to help my mom out at the time with my occupation and everything. Took a licking on my income, but I did it because I felt I should do that. They brought me up, right? Why should I turn? In other words, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I turned my back on them. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That is one of my pet peeves as well, and I'll actually share my pecking order because I have an order, and that is do not number one, do not fuck with our kids. That is the first. That is the first number one to get someone's ass beat in front of by me.
Right.
Do not accuse me, which people have done. Okay, I've interviewed some real crazy assholes that have accused me of being part of child sex trafficking when that could not be further from the truth. Those that know me know that I run with a very profound crew of people called Anonymous, and we really made it our life, okay, to turn in pedophilia to the grand authorities. Okay, so that was my feather in a bonnet for years, was turning in people like that. So number one is the children. Don't touch our kids.
Right.
Number two would be our elderly. Don't touch our elderly. Take care of them. And then if you want to get your ass beat for the third time, mess with our animals. Let me see someone hurt an animal. That is to me, and I do too. And those that know me know I feed the raccoons. I don't know why. I've got, other than the love in my heart for a raccoon, because they forage for food, right? The majority of them forage for food. They're not given food. In fact, my neighbors around here now know that before they throw shit out, they bring it to me.
Right.
Because, okay, I realize that raccoons are damaging. They will tear up a house. But look, I've got a man cave that they can destroy. In fact, the wiring is chewed all to shit throughout my. I'm just telling you, it is, dude.
That's a thanks they're giving you.
Right? Right. But dude, I literally I have gotten to the point where trying to rewire. What's fun? Let me show you this. You're gonna laugh here.
Maybe you should feed them a little more so they won't chew
Bro,
on it.
I don't even worry about like running wire legally anymore because I'm serious. Look, let me show you where I've got wire. Hang on, wire exposed. This look. Do you see this?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's that, and then here.
Yeah.
You can see where they're gnawing on the shit again up here. I mean, dude, I will not drill holes. I will not drill holes and go by zoning code anymore.
That's nature for you.
Right.
My mom always used to feed the birds, right? And I
Yeah.
want to tell you a quick, funny little story. It was in the summertime. We were living up there in Massachusetts, hot as heck, you know. It's about 11 o'clock at night. She's in the living room watching TV. I'm in my room on the computer there. And I didn't have my shirt on. I went to go outside the house to get something out of the car. She says to me, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going to go outside there and get something." She says, "You going out there like that without a shirt?" I said, "Yeah, why? It's hot out, right?" She says, "Oh, the mosquitoes are going to bite you, right?" I said, I said, "Well, actually, that's why I'm going outside there." She says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm going outside there to feed the mosquitoes."
Oh, Jesus.
She looked at me funny, right? I said, "You feed your cats, don't you? Why can't I go out there and feed the Why can't I go out there and feed the mosquitoes?" She looked at me. She says, "You're crazy."
I gotta admit, yes, she's right. You're a little cray. On that note, no, I wouldn't be doing that shit. Well, you know, at least like you said, the animal, dude.
Well, I didn't really go out there to do that, but I was just kidding around with it.
Right, I get it. That's funny shit.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that story with us, Matthew Turner. Regarding your experience with DMT, brought on by suicide as well. Amazing story. Thank you.
Well, anybody that thinks, you know, I said that. What's funny is my kid, my brilliant little kid, 19 years old now. You know, he's got some friends that, or had a friend that was suicidal, right? And I guess that I'm a good candidate to talk to about this note because look, you are here for a reason, whether you know that or not, whether you know whether again simple, I guess it's just that simple, whether we know it or not. Okay, unlike what I now believe after what happened to me, I now know I am never ever going to even allow that thought to remotely cross my mind. And if it does, I know that it is not my own source thought because I now know. Okay, I now know that there is life after death. I now, or at least there was for me, and that we're here for a reason. But we're only here for a season.
Right.
Right? We're here for a reason, but we're only here for a season. So make the best of it.
That's it.
Before your DMT experience, Matthew, did you believe in life after death?
You know, I can say that I hoped for it. You know, I was raised Southern Baptist Pentecostal, bro. And I will tell you that and anybody that knows that religion will tell you that we are literally taught that to be absent from the body is to be present with the what, Jim?
Lord.
That's right. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. Well, I'm going to tell you that I was definitely absent of the body. Now, if you want to call where I was and with who, the Lord, I guess. Again, I won't argue a religion with someone. But did I think about life after death? Again, I believed what I believed based upon what I was taught. You got to remember Christianity and these religions, these religions that we're taught it is a formality of something that is generational. Okay, I wanted to be a good Christian guy because my father was a good Christian guy. My father wanted to be a good Christian guy because his father was a good Christian guy, my grandfather. So this was a generational thing that we're brought up in, right? So when some guy comes along like me and is like trying to tell you that truly your religion doesn't matter, your faith, right? Your faith is what matters, or your belief in your creator of some sort is what matters.
Right.
That's truly how I feel now. But going back to the question, did I believe in life after death? Then I did, but it was based upon what I was taught. Okay, and that was just hopes. I guess you could hope in one hand and shit in the other, and just guess, right? I did not know. I didn't know, but I was okay with whatever was to come. Again, based upon my religious belief. Does this make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I refer to it as the source. That's my opinion, but
The force.
no, the source.
Oh, the source.
Yeah.
I look at it. I look at it, and I do mean I can't even say she, he,
Right.
Lord. I mean, let me give you this, okay? And this literally drove it home for me about. There's a book that I got my hands on, probably about a year or 2 years after I had this experience, and not normally do I read. I read a book like the Kabbalion and I cry. Okay, I'm not really. I never was. That's not a book you read and you cry over. It's not. Okay, this is a. The Kabbalion is a hermetic philosophy and principles of axioms and things like that. Right? Why in the hell why would I cry when I read that book? Well, I cried when I read that book because for one instance I was told and I was expressed I literally seen it word for word and in black and white, the best explanation as to where I was when I decided to check out. And it had a name. That the presence, remember, I wasn't alone. The presence that was with me absolutely had a name. It had a name and it had a feeling. I knew and the feeling was it didn't matter. It just mattered that I was there. You know what I'm saying? It just mattered that I was part of it. And I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was part of me and I was part of it. And it did not matter what color I was, what gender I was, what belief I was. So reading the Kabbalion 2 years later, that little philosophy of axioms and rhythm and nothing is still and everything has got its displacency to it and things like that. The all that is stuck out in my mind, and I'm like, that's it. That is absolutely it. It was literally it where I was was literally all things that could have possibly been in my experience, in this whatever experience that you would call it. It truly had no beginning, and it did not have an end. It literally was all of me shown to me. So
Barbara Fulcher says we are energy, and energy doesn't die; it transforms. Barbara, thank you for sharing that, Barbara. And Seek Plumber says Jesus is real. I've met him. The devil is real too, and is a real arsehole. Yeah. Sarah Williams says I call it infinite.
Infinite is a really good, is a very good description in the terminology description. Very good. The infinite. It is the infinite. Again, whether it be we classify being here as a cycle, right? We all know about the Sumerian story, and there being a cycle here, right? We know that there is a beginning and an ending to a cycle,
Right.
right? Where I was at, or what I got the opportunity to experience, there was no cycle. I was the cycle.
Right.
What I'm saying is the infinite. I was there with the infinite, and the infinite was with me. That's what I'm saying. By the fear of dying, I had no fear of anything. Once I knew that presence was with me.
Yeah, you were with the eternal. In other words, the infinite instead of finite, which could describe a phase. You know.
If you go there, yeah, that's a good description. So that is what got me into, I guess the main topic of tonight's discussion was clinical hypnotherapy, past life regression, things like that. I wanted to know. I absolutely wanted to know what it was that I experienced, but I wanted to experience it through someone else. I guess I wanted validation. If that makes sense, I wanted validation, Jim.
Yeah.
Sarah Williams says, Matthew, this would be a fun conversation. Our experience was very similar in so many ways because Sarah also took DMT herself and her experience was very similar to yours, Matthew. I thank you.
Sarah. Absolutely.
Barbara
yes,
says
thank you.
We are energy, and energy doesn't die; it just transforms. Yeah.
A lot of people have said, well, you have a very good way of bringing it out, bringing it back. But you got to remember, whenever I said, now I don't know this other person that has experienced this, but I can tell you, whenever I do smoke, again, like all it takes is maybe 3 hits of bud, 3 hits of weed, and I am right back into the depths of my consciousness, the depths of my mind. I'm trying to find that pixel. I'm trying to find that little all is totality, all things again. I want to embrace it again, but I will tell you, I will not do it with diamonds. I will not do it with DMT. Absolutely not. I mean, I won't take that avenue. So why marijuana versus DMT? I don't know. Other than I know that I can still cognitively function on weed, right? I can walk around, laugh, drunk, or I can always call myself back to my physical being, right? When I was there and done what I done, how I done it, I wasn't moving. So anybody that tells you, well, I've experienced dimethyltryptamine, and yeah, man, it's a fucking great experience, blah, yeah, well, they're blowing smoke in your ass. They didn't do it right. or they didn't do enough of it to do it right. If you really, really, really want that profound breakthrough kind of the disconnect between, and I can't even say it as a distortion between looking at my man cave here, because my man cave doesn't even exist. When you do it right and you go back into what you really are, okay, this shit it means nothing.
Yeah, where you were, you didn't need the man cave.
No, I mean, for here's something. The Tibetans. This it is passed on. It's beginning to pass on over here to to us in the West, and that is we look at these things and we value these things. These are materialistic things.
Right.
Okay, they mean absolutely shit.
That's right.
What means the most to me is, again, what drew me back to the experience, and that was feeling. Jim, again, I met you some 2 years ago, maybe, and I fell in love with your story. I care about you as a person, about your experience, about your life, about your kids, just as a human being. Right. That is what matters.
Exactly.
Literally. That is what matters.
And that's the connection all people should have with each other, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way.
Well, that goes back to what we refer to as placeholders, the NPC, right? The majority of the Matrix audience knows what an NPC is. These guys up here that follow this broadcast right here, they know what the hell an NPC is. Same way with your crew. They know that there's a damn good possibility that we are experiencing this bubble of reality and experience, and there are people within our matrix or matrices experience of some sort that are just there to look pretty. Right. I mean, how many times have you ever went somewhere, right? You've went somewhere to the grocery store or something, and you see people. That's your experience, Jim.
Right.
That's your experience. Going to the grocery store is your experience. So how many times have you walked into the grocery store and you see all of these people around here? How do you know that these people are real? I'm being serious. I'm saying this with every little aspect in me. How do we know that they're real?
That's why I always say that, life is a journey to be experienced, not a problem to be solved.
Good explanation. Yeah. Yes.
And getting back to that hypnotherapy, sometime in the future, I'd like to hook up with you some way, somehow. I don't know if you could do it over the internet or whatever, but I would like to have a session with you, or how many sessions it takes to try to trigger some type of memory of my experience.
I do this over the web.
Okay.
You guys are very familiar with a young lady that follows the broadcast by the name of Tammy Bonham.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Yeah. I had the opportunity to ask. She was really interested in that as well. And there's a couple other people, and I will, I had the opportunity to give her a just a taste of what it's like on the internet, and that was a public thing. We did that public on the air. So again, it's got a lot of it's got to do with your comfort zone.
I think I'd rather do that off air if we could, because I feel more comfortable that way. In other words, I want just clear concentration,
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
How are your visuals? Are you a visual guy, or are you, because that's got a lot to do with it. Sometimes I will actually send people visual exercises.
No, I'm
right.
I'm pretty visual. I mean, I can because I do a lot of healing sessions, and with them frequencies that we listen to,
Okay.
I get a lot of vision out of that. And
Right.
fact, yeah, as a matter of fact, so do the people I work with. So
Good.
yeah,
All right. Yeah, that will help. That will definitely help. And again, you got to remember, with no matter when it comes to your consciousness, remember where I told you I was at. I was all things, man. I
yeah,
was I was a reptilian. I was a draconian. I was a
yeah,
Sagittarius. In that world of being where I was at, I had the opportunity to be all anything that I wanted to be.
yeah. That's because you were back to the source. In other words, you were like a drop of water that was dropped back into the ocean.
Yes, you could say that. The all that is that is my God. That's why again you'll never hear me really truly argue that, well, the Bradley's belief is, well, you're not doing it right, Brad. You're not believing correct. That's not me. It's not for me to say, man.
Right.
That's, you're saying it's just, and truly, if anybody's going to take anything out of tonight's discussion, it is number one, know that you are more than your body. You absolutely are more than what you see. I mean, ladies, with the pretty red toes, you are more than just that beautiful figure with pretty red toes. Guys, same thing. You guys more than just that muscular, masculine, bodybuilding guy in the gym. You're more than that. That is just the experience. That's just the car's shell.
Right.
There's a motor in there that's aware. Right? There's something inside of you that knows that there's more to you than what you see. If you take
David Nash would like to say, the tools for the platform, your equipment, is a necessary evil to get your word, your joy out. It means nothing to a financial sense. You would sell it all in a heartbeat to pay for your child's surgery if needed to be. It's about not getting locked into your material possessions. Enjoy the necessary tools of life. Even Christ didn't want us to be miserable with lots of suffering. As long as we're thankful for the things we've got, it's cool.
That's right. David hit the nail on the head right there. None of this again. None of this shit matters. It truly doesn't matter. What brought me back, to catalyze what David's saying, what brought me back was the love that I have for Matt, my own kid.
Yeah,
that was it. It was that longing to watch a little bit more of his experience with me in it, because I had an opportunity. I truly had an opportunity to not go back. But I felt it. Put it this way, the visuals that I'm referring to with Jim, the visuals didn't matter. The feeling and the emotion, that is what drew me back. Right. Was that emotional connection. And I want to share something else with you in reference to that. And this has got a lot to do with why, I won't argue someone's belief in Jesus or Muhammad, Krishna, whatever it be. Pasta. It is whenever you truly have an understanding that you I know this may go far, okay, this goes really far out there beyond moralistic standpoint, but when you really truly realize that you are here for emotion, you're here for feeling, then your experience is fed back to what Jim refers to as source. And this is where in the Bible, where the words God says, go forth and create and bring all things back to me, had a really, really profound experience in my life after that, when I realized it is really go forth and experience and bring that perception back to me, because I'm an extension. I'm an extension of source.
Right.
I mean, just because I might not believe in, excuse me, the way that you or she may believe, I'm still part of your reality. If you can hear me now, I'm saying if you're participating with me now, that means that I'm part of your world. I'm part of your bubble.
Right.
So that's that. This is what I wanted to share with before I forgot to get it out there.
Sarah Williams would like to share a very long paragraph here, but I'm reading if you want, Jim. From Sarah Williams. Just so that everyone knows, DMT is something that is naturally produced by our pituitary gland in every human brain. It is believed that when we die, the DMT is released, and that is what people experience when they die and come back. It's what helps us transition. Besides humans, DMT is produced by some frogs and plants. It is harvested and created from the frogs and plants. For humans to consume, like Matthew and I. Please educate yourselves before ever considering trying it. I was not suicidal. I took it for enlightenment and healing purposes. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. Very kind.
For sure. For sure.
David,
Go ahead, brother.
You want to read that?
Oh, go ahead, brother.
All right. David Nash says, you are an ascended master, Matt. You might be on a starter level, but you are. Christ was trying to teach us all we could be one. Call it Christ consciousness or whatever name you choose. We all gave the same souls to become a master. Thank you for sharing that, David Nash. I believe we are all ascended masters in the making if we so wish it, if we choose the right path, choose the right beliefs in our mind.
I'm still.
That's what I've learned.
The way I see myself is I'm always learning. A lot of people. Oh man, I will say that a lot of people have tried to call me out and say, saying that we run the Matrix and I'm a millionaire. Come on, man. That is. Are you shitting me? Are you kidding me? I mean, really? I mean, are you kidding me? Look. This is my millionaire man cave, right?
Yeah.
It's. I mean, minus the stripper pole that I'm missing, I'm going to put it up somewhere. Look, man, I am not a master by any means, nor am I rich. By any means, I scrape by the literally by my front teeth, man.
The way society is structured, we should be thankful we're able to do that at this point.
Yeah. I'm at this point, man. I am literally just thankful to be here. I can tell you that I'm getting very tired. I look at the world around me and I see the timelines that we're on, and we're all tired. Okay, I know this. I know that we're all tired of the destruction. We look at this beautiful this beautiful world that we're in and on, and we see that there's a very malevolent force that's like, it's poisoning our air, it's poisoning our water, it's toxifying every single aspect of our food. And again, the amazing cigarettes that I'm smoking got chemicals in it to kill me, right?
Right.
I mean, all of these things, this experience, I didn't choose to have the experience the way the experience is being projected. Okay, so I want everyone to know that as well. Just, you're like, those that hear the words, well, I create my reality. Bullshit. We do. We absolutely do. However, you got to remember, you're not alone. in that reality. That bubble I told you about, I'm in it. Okay, we may not see eye to eye on a lot of shit from time to time, but I can assure you that I do care about you as a human being.
Right.
I don't care what color you are. Don't care what gender you are. Don't care what gender you are. None of that shit matters to me. What matters to me is that you go forth and create with every single aspect of your being the way you would lovingly want to create it.
Well, that's the thing. It's all about intent. That's what it boils down to.
Seek Plumber has a question for you, Matthew. Seek Plumber is asking, are you a Freemason?
No, I'm not allowed to be a Freemason. And I say that because I've tried. I've tried multiple times. You got to remember, I've ran the Matrix here for almost 15 and a half years. And that has been one of my goals, was to get involved in the Masonic order only for one reason only, and that is to primarily expose the secretiveness of the society.
I was going to say to infiltrate.
No.
Yeah. Infiltrate, penetrate.
Infiltrate it, yeah. There you go.
A spy for the greater good, because that's what you are, Matthew. You're a partisan for the greater good.
I thought about that too. Like when I was younger, to join the Masonry. In other words, to infiltrate it, to see what's really going on.
Well, I've got a good friend. I've got a good friend by the name of James Roundtree that is a Mason. And he told me that on a broadcast that we were talking about the Masons, that he's assuming that they know. They absolutely. See, I remember, dude. My wife was a rainbow girl in 1996. I mean, I was around it. My wife was a rainbow girl. Okay. Her father was a Mason. Her father's father was a Mason. The problem was they know I have always been kind of exposing the system. I've always been going against the grain. I can't stand authority. I mean, if you see me on my mayor's page, you're my local mayor, you're probably wondering why in the hell I'm not in prison yet for busting his ass the way I do. I mean, I do, bro. I will absolutely, whenever our people, whenever our people are trying to pay bills, and then they want to raise our fucking taxes, and I got grandma down, someone's grandma down the road trying to just make ends meet. I see her at Walmart as a greeter, or Giant Eagle as a greeter, to simply, she's only there to make enough money to pay for medicine. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I've always been against the grain. I have never. I hated school. I hated school with a passion.
Same here. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, similar. I flunked. I did really well at infant and junior school, exceptionally well in math, English, poetry, mathematics.
I dropped out. I dropped out in the 7th grade.
But in my high school, for 4 years of high school, I bunked most of the lessons. I'm surprised I've even gotten it in the school, really, bunking the school. But then I wasn't brainwashed either. I left it.
My mother dropped me off at junior high school. I walked in the front door and out the back.
That sounds about like my high school days, dude. By the time I could push a mower and start programming computers, remember, dude, I've worked for Allen Bradley and Rockwell International at 17. So I mean, I was making good money. Excuse me. This Pepsi. Do you guys drink pop?
Yeah, I drink Coke.
Every now and then I drink a pop, and it's like, man, oh man, bubbly, bro. I'm like,
yeah, it is, yeah.
But no, it's like at the time I could push a mower or code. I've worked for some really, really good companies, and then after that, I'm like, I've had enough of the high collar pencil pusher, and started driving truck. So I just took on my livelihood, my what my father did, what my father's father did, is get back, getting into the logging, getting into trucking, and that's what I've done all my life. I mean, I've driven truck for 30 years, man.
Yeah, I dropped out of high school at age 13. I ended up working in a nightclub at 16. I was working in the kitchen of a nightclub, and I met the most amazing people. I've got to be honest. I really enjoyed the job, better than school.
Doing DJ work, Bradley, is really fun. I've done that. I worked at a couple bars doing DJ service, and that was a blast, bro. I had so much fun.
I had a nightclub once called the Chapel. It was called the Chapel because the people would come, my flock would come and worship the DJ, pay homage to the DJ who would be playing hard house music at the time. It was in the 90s. And like you pay £3 to get in, you'd buy milkshakes at £2 each because everyone was on ecstasy and everyone was loving each other and hugging each other on ecstasy.
What a girl! That was a good old
shut
day.
Down by the police,
right. Right.
Like everyone, well, we got shut down because I didn't have the parking facility for everyone, so they started blocking people's driveways and all that sort of stuff. So we got shut down, yeah. But happy days, the 90s. Yeah, rock and roll. Well, it's rock and roll, isn't it? Life's been a roller coaster ride for me, for you, for Jim. A roller coaster ride.
Johnny Roton says you have the voice and mind of a DJ or announcer.
Yeah.
I know. Who would that be?
That'd be you, Matthew.
I think he's referring to Matthew here.
Oh, me? Yeah. I appreciate that, bro. Really.
And Matthew's a drummer. And he's got 2 drum kits. Wow. I'm waiting for him to invite me over. Go
on. You play the drums too, man?
I do.
Yeah, I want to hear you guys play Wipeout.
Well,
yeah. I've asked him, Jim, already. I've asked him to play. I've already asked Matthew to play Wipeout, and he went, no way.
And I told Bradley that would be like punishing me and making me play Metallica. I'm a metalhead, okay? I gotta admit, I don't get me wrong. I could probably do the paradiddles that it takes to play Wipeout. Okay, it is an offbeat Wipeout, an offbeat paradiddle, right? But and then an accent on that 4. But here's the thing, right? I am not, dude. I'm a double bass player, and
wow.
Yeah, I play a double. Yeah, I've got a double bass, or I got a
bass. What, like upright, Matthew? An upright double bass.
No, well, that's the thing. Okay, whenever you start carrying all of your shit into a gig, you're going to learn to take that double bass upright acoustic kit down to a single bass with a slave pedal.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not going to want to tote all of that shit into a gig, dude. And that's where I got to the point where playing. I have 2 kits that are merged together. I've got a Ludwig and I've got a Gretsch. It's a black and white kit, or it's a beautiful kit. But I've got that together, and again, that is a double bass acoustic kit. But I utilize the white Gretsch bass, okay, and pretty much whenever I go to a gig, dude, whenever I have to go to a gig, I carry my bass, my bass in there, my snare in there, a mid tom in there, and a floor tom, and that's it. I am not carrying 100 cymbals in there, not my two high toms, my mid tom, a low tom, and 2 floor toms. That is you've seen my kit. I've showed you my kit in the studio. It's huge, dude. So we learn to break things down to carry these things in, make it easier, make things easier. It's not about how big your kit is anyway. It's about how we play it.
I know, I agree with that. I got a 20-piece drum kit, 10 cymbals and 10 drums, but I tried to sound like Pink Floyd and I ended up sounding like Genesis, but that's still not a bad thing because Genesis are all right. Like, yeah, you can't beat playing the drums. I'd just like to do a shout out to Jim Mike McFarlane. He says, hello, Jim. Hello, Matt. Hello, Brad. Thank you for joining us, Jim.
I don't know.
Hello. Well, hello. Hello, Jim McFarlane. He'd be another driver, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, another trucker.
Shout out to all my drivers, my compadres, man. It's a hard life. It's a very hard life.
Talking to Tammy Barnum. Tammy Barnum is in the house. Hello, Tammy. Thank you for joining us.
There you go. She's the young lady that's like she had a taste of what regression, right? She's the one that has had a taste of what past life regression can do.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get, because of it being on the broadcast live, we didn't have the opportunity to regress her into the death experience, into LBL, or life between lives. However, we took her back as far as she could go with time being allotted. And so I was really proud of her for as far back as she went.
That's great.
I'd like to say we're really putting in the ratings here. We've got like over 3,600 viewers so far. That's really excellent. Thank you for that, Matthew, for your platform. Yeah, very impressed.
Johnny
You're welcome.
Says, let's talk about being united no matter what our differences are. We are all on a different journey to the same destination.
Yeah, that's right. Johnny Rotten. Yeah. And Johnny Rotten of the Second Party. That's not the real Johnny Rotten, is it? Actually, Johnny Rotten's got a mansion in England, and I know someone who was on about inviting us over to Johnny Rotten's to stay for like the week, and that didn't actually happen. But yeah, Johnny Rotten's still around, and he was actually saying that he feels guilty because of Sid Vicious. He introduced Nancy to Sid Vicious, and Nancy got Sid Vicious on heroin, and obviously led to his death. And Johnny Rotten feels guilty about that. He made a little video clip recently. Also, have you heard about them shutting down TikTok? What do you think about that, Matthew? They're shutting down TikTok because of freedom of speech.
Well, we can't have too much truth now, can we?
You know what I'm saying? What happened to freedom of speech in America?
Oh,
I've been hearing that it's going to be shut down for a while. I haven't seen that come to pass yet.
In September, Jim, they're shutting down TikTok, freedom of speech. In September, yeah. But some rumor has it TikTok's gonna re-emerge with a new name, freedom of speech, all again on a different platform.
Into what?
I don't know what they're going to turn into, what their new name will be.
What did you say the name was going to become?
I don't know at the moment. As soon as I know, Matthew, you'll know.
I didn't know that they. Well, we've known for some time that they were going to try to shut it down.
Yes, the bill has been passed, Matthew. The bill's been passed. TikTok is officially being closed. Rest in peace, TikTok. In September, it's official in America.
I wonder if we're going to see. I wonder if we're going to see handcuffs on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden for their cahoots with the CCP. So if they're going to take TikTok down and they're going to remove our freedom of speech based upon that platform being CCP owned, I wonder if they're going to take away them too as well.
Also, TikTok's been banned in certain states in Australia already. It's began.
They want us to do what they want us to do, not what they do.
Well, I didn't come here.
Johnny Rotten said he loved you guys. Thank you for that, Johnny Rotten. That's very kind of you.
Thank you, Johnny.
Tammy Barnes said, didn't Elon Musk say he was going to buy TikTok? I'm not sure about that, Tammy.
I didn't come here just to sit back, be quiet, and shut up. I can tell you that. I do know that for fact. I did not come here to just be domicile controlled and be oblivious with my head in my own ass. And I don't believe that any of you did either. So if you're listening to the broadcast, I can tell you that your odds are you've got a mean streak in you as well.
Jim Mark McFarland says, as a truck driver, Matthew, it's one of the toughest jobs out there. What do you think about that?
As a truck driver, what?
It's the toughest job out there.
Repeat that for me, Jim. I couldn't hear it. I couldn't understand it.
He's saying being a truck driver is one of the toughest jobs out there.
Well, here's the thing, Jim. Here, McFarland, right? Let me explain to you, Jim. It took me about 20 years. No, I wouldn't say it. It took about 15 years to realize that I was doing shit all wrong. All my life, the majority of the time, I was pulling a skateboard, right? Which we know, I know is a flatbed. I've got a crack between my two eyes from my load bar. I've been beat up all the hell and back. It was a lot of work. Very rough life. A door swinger I am not. I will tell you that my two favorite things to pull was a bulk tank, okay, a bulk tank or a permanent bulk tank for concrete, like what's called Portland mix. It's like real thin dust, right? That and a dump truck. I would rather pull a tank truck or a dump bucket. So the way I grew up saying is like, if you can't skate it on a board or truck it in a bucket, fuck it. Those were my two money makers right there. It was a skateboard and a bucket, but my go-to was the bucket and a tank.
Well, we got like, we're coming up to the top of the hour. We've got like 3,800 views. Very impressed with that. I'd just like to start. And the reason why I'm saying that is because anybody wants to ask any questions, Matthew Turner is in the house. Please feel free to ask any questions that you want to. Okay, this is the time to do it now. Okay, thank you for keeping us riveted to our seats, Matthew.
You're welcome, bro.
David Nash says, I've been running flat in step for 23 years.
Damn it, boy. Step deck's good money, too.
Hey, it's a good thing I can edit while I read to see what he's got there for 23 tiers.
Right? David Nash, yeah, that, I ran a step deck for a little while. But what running, being an owner operator and, running a step deck, I did not have all of the shit that they wanted me to have equipped on my step deck to haul the things that they wanted me to haul. They wanted me to get into like specialized freight at that point. And I'm like, no, I would rather haul over width shit on my flatbed. But having the deck that Mr. Nash has got, the opportunities for freight on a flatbed load board are wide open, man. I mean, it's unbelievable the money that he can get with that little step deck.
A flatbed is actually easier to load and unload than a regular trailer, right?
What, is that a step deck?
Oh, no. I'm saying that a regular trailer, closed-in trailer.
Oh, you doing a flatbed,
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Is it easier to load? It's easier to load and unload, isn't
it?
Kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've even hauled coils in my bucket. I know that may sound crazy, but I've hauled out of Detroit, Michigan, two pretty good sized balls. The one was 20 24.5 and the other one was 25, like 25.5. That's a lot of fucking weight, bro. That's a lot of weight in a trailer. And the reason I did it in the bucket is because, well, it was hidden. Just gonna throw that out there for anybody trying to like move mass amounts of a massive ass coil. We call them balls, right? But yeah, you can haul a massive ball in a dump truck. All right, so see something about you, sir.
Slightly. What are your plans for the future, Matthew Turner? What are you plans for the future? Have you got any goals set?
Well,
where would you like to be?
What would I like to do? I would like to see the platform here. You guys, I would love to see you guys expand beyond just this little platform. My goal is to help other people along the way to where I can actually say I'm part of your journey. Okay, I know that me being Bob Seger is out of the question. I'm not going to be going to retire as a musician. I don't see myself being the next J Medicine Hat, the stage hypnosis, touring around the world, going to Vegas and making millions. I don't see that happening either. So I guess
you've obviously stimulated an interest. I'm impressed, actually. I admire your spirit very much. In 15 years, what you've accumulated, I think that's quite an achievement in itself, because it's not easy to like build a platform as big as yours.
It's been hard. Yeah. The censorship, bro. I guess I can say that fighting the censorship has been the most up against the wall thing, is fighting that. Because you got to remember, Facebook is the front line turf when it comes to the digital war. You can't be one extreme or the other. You've got to be you've got to be okay with everything. And my problem is I'm not okay with the shit that I see on Facebook. I mean, I'm not. On top of that,
that's wrong. I mean, when they suppress you like that, that's wrong, no matter how you look at it.
Well, we're not paid for talking heads, right? We're not. I don't get paid. I truly don't get paid millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this. I'm not going to tell these people what they would like to hear. Exactly. I'm going to tell them what I think that they need to hear to warn them, to further their progression and enlightenment, to help them along the way. You know what I'm saying? So I know, and I know that the both of you are not like are like that. You're not going to you're not going to blow smoke in their ass, and that's what it's about.
You know Cassidy Lightwing, don't you? He was my co-host, and we had Esoteric Hours. It peaked to 1.5 million viewers. A show, Esoteric Hours. And like Facebook shut us down. They banned me from the watch parties and shut us down because we was talking about the government and they're trying to poison us and stuff like that, conspiracy theories. And they didn't like that sort of stuff. Banned from the watch parties, then they shut the watch parties down, and then they shut us down. You know, and I had 500,000 members in my group, 500,000, 500,000. They blocked 200,000 members from following me and shut a load of my groups down. And it gave me a good. They went to war with me and I lost. I just couldn't beat them. You know,
David Nash says Joe Rogan did it for fun many years before he made $1.
Yeah. We're not in it for the money, me and Jim, and neither are you, Matthew. You know, it seems like we're not.
No, it's the message that we want to put out there is what drives us.
The message. That's what we're about. The message.
I agree.
Anybody? Any last questions? Johnny Rotten says Facebook was designed to monitor us, similar to the NSA. monitor us, and we turned the tables because we've all united and met each other, and we've all got something in common. We care about humanity. You know what I mean? So we turned the tables on them.
Morgan Roundtree says, thanks for sharing tonight. Appreciate all of you. We appreciate
Thank
you
you
guys
so
as well. And we'd like to thank you for all your interaction.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you near us. Matthew Turner in the house. Podcast, hypnotherapist, and owner of two big platforms, and also a people's person, a partisan to the cause, and serves a greater good.
I love you guys. I truly thank you for being part of my experience, man.
We love you as well, and we deeply appreciate you coming on here, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again sometime, Matthew. Sarah Williams says, fantastic show, guys. Yeah, we'd love to have you on pretty soon, but we can't because we've got a policy we have to follow up, not every 4 weeks, isn't it, Matthew?
Yeah. I don't want to see you have my ass back up here next week, okay? Look. There's called oversaturation, Bradley. Get with the program. No, look, you guys take care of yourselves. And again, to everybody that's listening, I appreciate you very much so tuning into the fellas here. I do care a lot about them. I want to see their out of the box podcasts grow. I want to see everybody expand, and it's not about them. Okay, it's not about them. It's about everybody in the experience here.
That's right.
So
that's right. Sarah Williams says, fantastic show, guys. Yeah, opportunities are coming our way. So, we are going onwards and upwards. This is going to be a good year for us. I have faith in it.
Hey, like we were saying, it's not about the money. I enjoy what we do, and that's a big part of big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's a pleasure to work with you, Jim Andre, as well as
same here, Bradley. And I'd like to thank everybody for your interaction, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Okay. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.